So welcome everyone. I'm the Agnihotra Lady and this is the Cosmic Clinic. And thank you for joining me this Saturday evening here, 7 p.m. Eastern Time here in Atlanta. And thank you for everyone viewing from various states in the United States and our brothers and sisters in other countries. Thank you. Welcome. Tonight's topic, like I said, once again, is George Washington Carver's Cosmic Clinic, Intuition and Plant Power. And I think you'll really enjoy the information I have to share this evening. And I'm excited to be able to share it with so many people that want to learn about the ancient Ayurvedic wisdom of Agnihotra and how it applies to everyone in the modern world. So we normally start off with a Varuti mantra that sets a good tone for the talk, and I'll go ahead and start that now. Bhu Swaha Agniye Idamama Bwa Swaha Vayave Idamama Swaha Surya Idamama Bhurva Swaha Prajapatiye Idamama. So that's the Varuti mantra, and this is the Carver pyramid. As you know, I'm the Agnihotra Lady, and I talk about any and everything about Agnihotra, Ayurvedic medicine, and anything dealing with using Ayurveda to make your life better, enhance your day-to-day living, and just bring about a healing for the planet and for yourself. And so, for those that are not familiar with Agnihotra, Agnihotra is practiced in a copper pyramid. We use cow dung, dried cow dung. We use brown rice. And then we use ghee, which is nothing but unsalted butter that has been boiled down for about 20 minutes. Those are the basic ingredients that we use inside the pyramid. So at sunrise and at sunset, we do this, and it brings about a balance to nature. It brings back nutrients back into the atmosphere. At sunrise, we chant a Sanskrit mantra, and then there's a miraculous awakening of healing for the entire planet. And it goes 8 miles up and a 2-mile radius. And there's an interaction between the solar system, the sun, with the pyramid. And at that time in the morning, there's a great energy and ethers and electricities that around the planet. And that's when the healing takes place. And the evening time, when those ethers, electricities, and energies are receding, we perform the same ritual again with a different Sanskrit mantra. And that is the basic way to perform Agnihotra. Now, there are other fires like this here that we do throughout the day. That are not Agnihotra, but you do them to enhance the qualities, the properties, the healing properties of Agnihotra. And so this is what I teach here at Shanti, Atlanta, located in Conyers, Georgia. I am the Atlanta campus of Shanti Institute, which is located in historic Tuskegee, Alabama. And that's the main campus that's on 13 acres and run by my husband, Sri Charles. And so I'm so excited to be able to share the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda and Agnihotra as a way to combat pollution, to bring about a tranquility and peace in yourself and to enhance your family life. And that's what I'm here talking about every Saturday, almost every Saturday, about ways in which you can restore balance in your homes and fight the ravages of pollution. And I've said before is that pollution worsens COVID-19. They've now been talking about this. Scientists are saying that pollution makes all that worse. So it's really important that we are serious about healing the planet if we really want to have real peace and tranquility and have a healing that is universal for us, the animals, the insects, the plants. It has to be something that is beneficial to all, because that is the way that nature works. Nature doesn't just work for one part of it, one component of it. Nature works for the entire whole. And we as humans, we have forgotten that we are part of the whole. We are humans, which means wise man, Homo sapiens, rather. Homo sapiens means wise man, which we're not acting wise right now. Okay? We have to do the things that are necessary to take care of the earth, Mother Earth, because we wouldn't exist without Mother Earth. So today's topic, or tonight's topic, we're talking about George Washington Carver. And for those of you not familiar with him, he was a botanist at Tuskegee University. And he really revolutionized the way people farmed in Tuskegee. Because you have to remember, back in the South, for those of you from other countries or not familiar with the history of agriculture in the South, the only way that you can make money was to grow cotton. But cotton also depleted the soil because they did monocropping. So when he came to Tuskegee, he wanted to really empower the farmers to be able to grow things besides cotton. And he was really for the downtrodden man, the man that was farming to make his existence. And that was farming is very hard in general. It was especially hard there, and you need to be able to make money. So he realized that peanuts, if they rotated 1 year growing cotton, and then the next year growing peanuts, peanuts did not need nitrogen. They produce their own nitrogen. And this is a way to restore the soil and give farmers more than just one way to make money with cotton. Okay, so this is what he did. And beyond any of that, I mean, he really was connected with the Creator. He understood that to be able to take care of the land, to take care of people, it all started with the plants. And so he's famous for talking about when he went into the garden or the woods at 4 o'clock in the morning, okay, 4 o'clock before anyone was up, this is when he would talk to the plants. And this is how he said he came up with the ideas and got instructions from the Creator, God, to do all these wonderful things. He had 3 patents, and he didn't do more because he said that the information that he had learned through his studying of nature and plants, and the 300 things that you could do with peanuts, he wrote a paper on that. This was available to all mankind. So he was not about the money, he was about the people. And so he often talked that at 4 a.m., this is when he talked to the plants. And some people in the scientific community thought it was crazy. That doesn't sound very scientific. If you're talking to plants. But it makes sense when you think about Ayurveda and these ancient techniques in which we receive messages and knowledge from the Creator. And we talked about this here at the Cosmic Clinic. So we talked about 4 a.m., okay, being the time that you meditate and sit still. 5 a.m., sunrise, 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., and sunset. So I was so excited to know that intuitively, George Washington Carver, he knew this. He knew to get up at 4 a.m., go in there and talk to the plants and receive the messages. And I think his exact words is that this is where he understood where the lessons would come. The lessons were coming from the plant, the lessons that God wanted him to learn so he could help the people. So how do we tie this into what we do now? I've often talked about that now we live in concrete jungles. A lot of us are not planting food and farming, even though you do see more of an influx of community gardens and things like that. But we're not, that's not an everyday occurrence unless you specifically are in a neighborhood or community that's doing that. And there's so much that the plants and soil can teach us. Now, when we talk about the Cosmic Clinic hours, these are the times in which you sit still to get knowledge. We talked about that. So remember, George Washington Carver, he started at 4 a.m. in the morning, okay? And this is when he started whatever lessons he was supposed to learn to share with the people. At 4 a.m. is one of the starting times, or actually 3 a.m. and then 4 a.m. But 4 a.m., those are the earlier times that you start to receive that knowledge from the Creator. So I thought that was very interesting because, you know, he was world renowned for the work that he did, but really, even above that, he was really an environmentalist into sustainability before it became popular terms like we throw around now. He was the original environmentalist because above anything, a student was quoted as saying that he kind of was disappointed when he went to school and worked with George Washington Carver, because it's not like he was a chemist or anything like that. But George Washington Carver will often say, no, I'm an artist that is doing good with nature. So he understood that above anything else, he was supposed to use nature for the greater good of mankind. And that to me is the highest calling above any other type of scientist, you know, that he was, and or any kind of scientist that you can be. You have to be about the greater good of mankind. And that's what he was about. He was a very humble man. So we're talking about what we can do in modern life to sustain our planet, to understand that we are so closely linked to plants that we have to take care of the plants, the soil, the trees, all of this. You know, we have to understand that our air is polluted, the water is polluted, and these things that are happening with all these elements in nature, it extends to our bodies and our minds. I've said before, you breathe 2,500 gallons of air every day. How can your mind have purified thoughts if you are breathing in polluted air? So that should be sufficient reason for you to make sure that your neighborhood and your community, your city has clean air. It's pivotal to your health and well-being. And so now I want to move on to talking about just the soil itself, the soil that grows all these beautiful flowers and these plants that we eat, our vegetables, our squash, our collards, our kale, our eggplants, our onions and garlic, all these things, okay, that we grow in the soil. What does that really mean? What is that direct connection between you as the human being and the soil in which grows all these things that we eat and other animals eat as well? What does that mean? So I've talked about frequently that everything on the planet, that the planet is made of, and the universe, all that is inside of us. They have these scientific studies that say all that's inside of us. We're all comprised of that inside our bodies, our entire body. So the very soil itself is inside of you. The plant is inside of you. The trees, all these things are inside of you. So that's the first step in realizing what we have to do to take care of the mother. So when you look at soil, soil is such a miraculous thing. This thing, this substance, this, you know, pick it up in your hand one day, just look at soil. It looks so simple. It you know, it flows through your hand, it's crumbling and it's in the ground. But think about what the Creator gave us. You put seeds in there for your squash. The seeds, you know, produce squash. Think about the fact that squash seeds do not turn into any other plant. You're not going to plant squash seeds and then, oh, here, eggplant or rutabaga comes up. No, it knows to develop that and it turns into a beautiful squash, something nutritious that you can eat. So soil is able to develop all these seeds that we put in there and make it into a plant that if you water and tend to it, is something that you can eat and use to sustain your body with sustenance, you know, the nutrients and things like that. And now, unfortunately, our soil is lacking nutrients. That's because we've cut down a lot of the trees, and we don't have the a lot of people do not have animals around because animal waste is part of the whole soil composition animals and dried leaves and decaying things in nature. All of that is comprised of soil because it takes millions of years to develop what we call soil. It's very important, but yet we take it for granted. So if the soil is messed up, and remember, we take all these supplements now, these herbal supplements, because we're not getting nutrients from the soil that our great grandparents grew food from. They got the most nutrients. The stuff that we are eating from the grocery store, even the organic stuff, it does not have the same amount of nutrients. So that does affect our bodies because we're not getting nutrients from the source, and the best source is from Mother Earth, which is the soil. So that affects, once again, we talked about your thoughts, your thinking, your body's processes, all of that, because the nutrients are depleted. Then so we are depleted. It's like a piece of us that has been destroyed. And think about it. If you're sick and they do your labs and they tell you, oh, you're anemic and you're low in this mineral or this, iron or whatever it is, your body doesn't function well. Well, the best way to get nutrients is through the soil. And now we've destroyed the soil. And, we have people that are doing massive planting of trees and all of that. But, plant life has to be in all the communities. You cannot thrive. It's not sustainable, the way that we are setting up and have set up our world. It's just not sustainable. So on another level, when you destroy a lot of trees, okay, and they depend on the soil, and the soil depends on the roots of the trees. The roots, okay, go deep down into the soil, okay, and the soil is able to be, my gosh, so fruitful with the plants and the flowers it produces, okay? It's symbiotic. You have to have them. And then on a deeper metaphysical level, whenever you're destroying large swaths of forest land, the jungles, when you're cutting down all these trees in urban areas where people are living, you're actually destroying knowledge. Because each and every plant, the soil itself, has knowledge that we receive as human beings. And a lot of people don't understand that, but every plant, every tree has knowledge that it shares with the entire planet and the people upon it. And this is really what I think is foundational to George Washington Carver's work. He understood that by maintaining the trees and the plants and understanding the environment, that then you were able to maintain yourself. He talked about self-sufficiency and health and being productive. And so he gained, and he said this continually, his knowledge came from the plants. And that's because he talked to them and the plants told him what he needed to do to be able to take care of people. And so we don't have to be botanists or farmers, but understand is that because the plants, the trees, the soils are inside of you, that when you destroy so many of them, then you're destroying your ability to receive knowledge from the Creator. And that's a very sacred, special thing. This is your bond with the Creator. This is how you're able to live a productive life and to be peaceful and calm. And so that is the aspect of environmentalism that I like to touch upon, because, often we're talking about, when people are saying they want to protect the environment, they, of course, they're talking about clean air for everyone, clean water, healthy food. But above anything else, you want to have a clear head. You want to deepen your connection to God. Okay? And there's no way you can have a deep connection with God if you don't take care of the mother. So I just thought that was very interesting about George Washington Carver, you know, and I don't think many people understood his brilliance and that he really was an environmentalist before, you know, environmentalism became a word that you said. So can you develop the same type of intuition that George Washington Carver had? Yes, you can. Like I said before, the cosmic clinic hours are 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., sunrise, sunset, and then 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m. So if you're quiet during those times, like George Washington Carver said, he was able to go out at 4 a.m. and he was still and he listened to what the plant said. You too can develop the same intuition. Because really what you're talking about, your intuition, that is your way of communicating with the Mother, Father, God. Is it not? That is how he communicates. And that's where he received his instructions on what to do to help people. Okay? He took what was around him, the nature, the very nature around him, and said, what can I do? How can I show people how to restore the soil and do this so they can exist and be able to live off the land? So that intuition is there. We all can be one with the Creator, just like George Washington Carver was. Yes, we can be. And so the power of the plants, okay, that is really the power of the human being. We connect deeply with the plants, the substance inside the plants that make up the plant, every vein of the leaf, every stem, that's inside of us. So when you destroy all of that and you tamper with its nutritional value, its purity, you're tampering with you, the very essence of what it is to be a human being. And before, like I said, we're Homo sapiens, which means literally it means wise man. But we're not very wise right now. We're very stupid right now. And it's not funny, but we have to get beyond thinking about making tons of money, what's the quick way to do something, and doing it the right way, nature's way. Nature's way works in concert with everything around it for the good of the whole. And that's what we have to remember to do as humans. As the Homo sapien, if we're truly to be wise, we'll take care of the mother. And so one of the things when I was looking at soil, looking around at things soil is used for besides growing food, you know, soil is an ancient healer of the body. I don't know if many people realize this, but in many cultures, I know like in healers in Peru and healers in India, yogis and teachers and shamans and people like that, if you were sick, they would dig a little shallow hole and bury you in the hole and just leave your face uncovered, and you would be there like a day or two until your body balanced out and became healed. And so this is ancient, okay? And so the byproducts of that, because you don't really see people really doing that unless you're gonna go to an ancient healer, you know, or an indigenous healer. Nobody's really burying themselves in the backyard. You know, I mean, heck, I would do it, you know, but soil was used. That's how you healed your body. And it makes sense because if you come from the earth, from the soil, you have to return there, you know, when we leave our human forms, you need to go back to it continually each and every day. So now the byproducts of that in this modern society, you'll see people and they call it grounding, but you know, I walk barefoot all the time outside on the bare ground, not concrete, but the bare ground, and that's healing. They do have scientific studies that show that grounding heals you. So wherever you live, whether you live in the city, where's your sidewalks, you need to go to a park, take your shoes off and your socks and just walk, even if it's just 10 minutes. Very healing, very healing. So another byproduct, what people do, and I know people in the country, they use clay remedies, clay poultices, dirt remedies to heal certain body parts. Okay, and that kind of like progressed to like people that do mud baths, like at spas, and people now do mud masks for their face. So those are the origins of using soil, the earth, to heal. Okay, so maybe some of you all will be posting or emailing me telling me like, yes, I dug a hole in my backyard, and I laid there for, you probably can't lay there for all day, but I laid there for like an hour or 20 minutes. And I'm telling you, we have to go back to some of these ancient practices. So those are some things when I did my reading, I said, wow, this is deep. I don't think people understand, just how healing soil is. You may say, oh, I need to pull up weeds from my garden, or you're not really thinking about your soil in your backyard, but soil is really healing. And then, so I do want to talk about, and let me pause a second. Let me see if anyone has come on to ask any questions. Let me see here, because Facebook has changed its look. I don't like the new look of Facebook, but and it's not as easy to use, I don't think. Okay, but anyway, so I want to mention like 3 or 4 things, ways in which you can connect with the soil and connect with plants. Okay, because we're modern people. We've forgotten about some of these ancient ways, these old ways, stuff that probably your great grandma told your grandmother, and maybe it's been forgotten through our families. Okay, we've forgotten these ways. We may not read about it in books, and then a lot of these things that I'm talking about, they're not necessarily in mainstream books. Okay, so I want to list about 3 or 4 ways in which you can really connect with the soil, and you can understand, what it is to be a vibrational being. And plants are vibrational, and they respond to vibration. So let me repeat that again. We are vibrational beings. Plants, anything that grows from the earth, all these minerals and all of that, that's all vibrational. And as a matter of fact, going back to George Washington Carver, I mean, he believed in the 3 kingdoms, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and the mineral kingdom. He talked about that too. So all these things are vibration. So I suspect as he's walking in here at 4 o'clock in the morning, walking in the garden or the farm, that his vibration was so high that, of course, the communication was very high. They were vibrating from his love and from his passion for understanding the components of nature, and so that's where all of his great inventions came from his high vibration of love, and then they vibrated. And so they have studies that show that plants, they can move, some of them make sounds, they respond to vibrations of people. Okay, they have studies that have talked about this now. So ways in which we can get back centered to that basic ancient knowledge is, one, I mentioned before, you can walk barefoot on the ground, connect with the Mother Earth directly. Take your shoes off. Even if you, like, now it's cold, just you can go out there, for 5, minutes or 2 minutes, because I know it's cold, and just let your feet be upon the earth. Let the earth feel you, and you feel the earth. Okay? Because the earth can feel your vibration. You affect the vibration. And so the second thing that we can do is that we make sure my phone is not going off here. I don't want that to be going off. when you are gardening, okay, and you're watering your garden, let some water just run off on your hand before it hits the plants in the soil, because you are a vibrational being, and that vibration, especially if you do a lot of meditation and you do Agnihotra, that benefits greatly to the soil and to the plants. So you won't really see that in the mainstream book, but you indeed are healing because your vibration, okay, especially if you're full of love. So let the water just drip down as you're watering to the plants. And then the other thing that you can do is you can talk to the plants, sing to the plants. Like I said, that's vibration as well too. Now, if you're talking loving things and you are singing loving things, everything vibrates. Because actually, they laugh at me at Shanti Villa Institute. I always, I'm singing to the cows. I sing, and they will come up to the fence, and their eyes get big, and they really respond. And so anyway, cows are very peaceful anyway, but they respond to that. So think about if you're gardening or if you're just taking a walk in the park, just sing, talk lovingly to the plants and to the trees. Another thing that you can do is, what is this? It's vibrating over here. Is that when you are in your front yard, your backyard, you can actually feel the vibration if you're still enough and you concentrate and just touch the tip of a leaf. Just close your eyes, touch the tip of a leaf, and just breathe in and breathe out and share the vibration from that leaf. It's such a beautiful thing. And sometimes, you can just stand there for a very long time. It becomes a meditation because you're connecting. Okay? And the leaves, like I said, plants, all of that, it responds to vibration. Touch the tree. Hug a tree. Just touch a tree and just feel that energy. So that can become your walking meditation, or we should call it your standing meditation, just touching a leaf and really feel the energy, the vibration is exuding. Because yes, you're able to feel it, and then of course they have scientific instruments that are able to measure this energy exchange. I believe I mentioned before about they had a group of people to concentrate all their energy on this leaf. I think several people in a room, and they could actually see that the leaf was glowing. So think about what you can just do if you just concentrate all your energy on connecting with the leaf when you touch it. And so the other thing that you can do that's very medicinal and healing that you can use as your own Ayurvedic medicine is take some ghee, put it in a clay pot or wooden pot or glass. Don't use plastic. It has to be something natural, or glass, and bury it in the ground and let it sit. You can let it sit for a month or longer. I have a jar that's been buried for about maybe 6 months now, maybe longer. I've forgotten. I know where it is, but I've forgotten it was there. But that's an ancient Ayurvedic way of making medicine, and ghee is very medicinal even without burning it, but it becomes quadruple fold more medicinal when you bury it. And that makes sense because it's being engulfed by the mother. The soil is healing it. So those are my 4 tips, or was it 5 tips, on how to really connect in the modern way, in today's modern world, with the plants and the trees and the soil. And anyway, this is just, there's so much power in the plants. It's a shame that we're destroying so much stuff, and we have to be better about that. And so, does anyone have any questions before I get ready to get into the offerings that we have on the Shanti Villa Institute website? Because I'm about to end for the evening. And I'm so glad that you're able to join me today, okay, or this evening, wherever you are. You're so appreciated. And if you have any questions, you can always go to healthpluslifestyle.com. You can call me at 404-487-8156. And you can email me at shantiatlantacenter@gmail.com. And Shanti is spelled Shanti. Shanti, by the way, means peace. I'm located here in Conyers, and then our main campus is in Tuskegee, Alabama, actually right up the street from Tuskegee University. Go figure. And that's a 13-acre farm that we have, the Eco Center Farm and Ayurvedic Medicine School that we have in Tuskegee. So for anyone, something fell. You can purchase, well, this you can't get off the website. You have to come get this from me. I only have one left of our Agnihotra kits, and we need to order some more. Okay, so the Agnihotra kit, it comes with a booklet. Here's the back. It comes with all these items of copper: a copper cup, copper tray to hold your rice, a stand to hold the pyramid. And this is what a brand new pyramid looks like. Let me get out of here. Inside of it, that's the pyramid, the tongs, and the spoon. And we also have these 2 or 3 little glass jars to hold your ash, your ghee, and your rice. So the resultant ash, when you are burning these items, the cow dung, the rice, and the ghee, you know, the resultant ash is considered Ayurvedic charcoal, and it is an Ayurvedic medicine. And you can take it internally or use it topically for healing. Yes. So the next thing we have on sale at shantivillainstitute.com is, and we do have other books, but our most popular is The Secret Science of Mudras, authored by Sri Charles. And it just gives you these mudras that help with your health and balance. And like I've said before, mudras are based on the 5 basic elements as displayed, represented by your 5 fingers: earth, fire, wind, air, ether. Okay. And so when you do mudras, you're connecting with all your 5 fingers, connecting with all the 4,000 nerves that run throughout your body, okay, from your hand. And so these mudras are very helpful. You can use them by themselves, or you can do it while you're meditating or while you're doing deep breathing exercises. And so the other thing that we have is the Shanti's Ayurvedic Golden Nectar, formulated by Sri Charles. This is beyond organic plant food. And this is a quart size, and it makes about 3 gallons. And for you farmers, we do have the plant food for sale by the drum. I don't know if that was too quick. You want to see. So these are our core items, but we have other books. We have other items on sale, ebooks, CDs on sale at shantivillainstitute.com. So, as always, I appreciate you joining me for this evening for the Agnihotra Ladies, the Cosmic Clinic. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. So be blessed, be peaceful, and be happy.